So the Trump administration is beginning to understand that a downturn is coming. This is in Politico. Here's what they say. In public, President Donald Trump and top White House officials keep extolling the strength of the U.S. economy. In private, they're increasingly worrying about a global economic slowdown triggering a U.S. recession and weighing options to shore up the economy ahead of an election year. At a fundraising luncheon this week in Jackson, Wyoming, headlined by both Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney acknowledged the risks to the GOP elite behind closed doors. If the U.S. were to face a recession, it would be, quote, moderate and short, Mulvaney told roughly 50 donors, according to an attendee. White House officials are discussing a broader package of measures than previously disclosed, including a cut of an additional percentage point or two to the corporate tax rate. That's on top of a potential payroll tax cut, which the Obama administration had used to shore up the economy, and a move to index the capital gains rate to inflation, which could potentially be done through an executive order and has internal support from the National Economic Council, the Vice President's office, and Mulvaney. Pegging the capital gains rate to inflation would exempt some gains from taxation. Okay, this is almost beyond parody. Now, they're also not giving you the total picture about Obama there. They say, oh, he used a payroll tax cut, which helped shore up the economy. He also bailed out GM and did a massive stimulus package. So one could argue that that was actually the way more important part than a payroll tax cut. But the crazy thing is, guys, they're admitting behind closed doors, okay, yeah, we get it. There's going to be a recession. And they're going, oh, it'll be short or something. I don't know, maybe. Shut up. Just shut up. Support us. And their solution is, okay, what if we did tax cuts? Oh, there's no way even you guys are this stupid. You can't be this stupid. I mean, the main economic policy that they've pushed for and they got since the Trump administration came into power is what? Their giant tax cut bill and further gutting Dodd-Frank and Wall Street regulation. So the whole movement was towards more deregulation and more tax cuts. They did the deregulation, they did the tax cuts, and what have I told you on this show for years? I told you that leads to what's called a boom-bust cycle. So what you have is initially, oh my God, everything took off, so everything is wonderful. The stock market numbers are through the roof. Ignore the fact that it's a lot based on stock buybacks. But it's up and it's through the roof and everything's great and the good times are never going to end. Whee! And then what happens? Eventually, the bubble bursts and there's a giant crash. It's what it is. It's what it is. I told you it was going to happen. It happened in the lead up to the Great Depression. It happened in the lead up to the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession. It happened. People rarely talk about the recession that happened as soon as Ronald Reagan left office. Why? Ronald Reagan was slashing taxes left and right overall. To be clear, he did raise it 11 times as well, but, as he would, the rates overall still went down massively when he was in office. There were little upticks here and there, but the rates overall went down massively. And he also did deregulation. So we know the impact of this. We have the history that proves it. And they did the exact thing which was going to lead to a boom-bust cycle. And now they're totally clueless. When this crash hits, they have no idea how to handle it. They don't know what to do with it. To the point where they're saying, oh, let's cut the corporate tax rate an extra percentage point. Are you insane? You think that's gonna fix the problem? Oh my God, there's so many problems in this economy that we can't even cover it all in a single segment. I mean, and any of a number of things could be the catalyst for this next downturn. You have the problem of over $1 trillion in credit card debt all across this country, over $1 trillion in student loan debt all across this country, a giant, massive, unregulated derivatives market. You have a trade approach from the Trump administration, which is kind of sparking a trade war, which is going to impact the market in a negative way because he's not being intelligent and targeted in how he's going about trying to do a protectionist approach to the economy. And by the way, just so everybody knows, everybody in corporate media will pin just that for the problems in the economy. I guarantee you, hear me now, quote me later. The reason I know this is because I've already seen some of it. All they're going to do is say, it's got to be the protectionism and it's got to be the Trump approach on trade. Now, why would they single that out? Because the establishment, corporate elites, are against those policies. What they are not going to single out, even though it's probably even a bigger part of the picture, is the tax cuts for the rich and corporations and deregulation. In fact, I literally just told you that what they're proposing as one of the solutions is part of the problem. Let's just cut corporate taxes a little bit more. We're living in the twilight zone, man. We're absolutely living in the twilight zone. And by the way, notice even in public, they're not admitting that, we think there's going to be a downturn. They're still pretending like, everything's great. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. There's nothing to see here. What? Everything's bouncing back and it's totally cool. Just so you know, Larry Kudlow, who's Trump's economic advisor, this guy has a history of being dead wrong about every prediction he's ever made in the past 3 decades. In 2007, before the giant crash, the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, his fat face was all over TV saying, there's not even going to be a downturn. I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. This is totally good. Everything's fine. I'm not kidding. And this is the guy that he picked. In the same way he picks John Bolton to be his foreign policy advisor, a guy who's been in favor of every single disastrous war ever, illegal and offensive war. Like, you're picking people who are proven to be wrong about absolutely everything, and then they're like shocked when bad things happen. Well, no shit, you're picking people with the worst track record in human history. You're picking the ultimate establishment goons, whose sheer existence, by the way, is simply to benefit, in the case of John Bolton, the military-industrial complex, but in the case of Larry Kudlow, his Wall Street buddies, the owner class, the elites. So they already ran out the back door with all the money. So now when the market tanks, they're going to, what do you want me to do, bro? Hey, cut my corporate taxes even more. That'll fix it. Oh my God. The only question is, when exactly will the crash happen? That's the only question. And that matters. That does matter. If it happens still under Trump's watch, then obviously he's extra vulnerable in the election. Is it possible it hangs on until just after, the next election? Sure, it's possible. We're seeing so many signs right now. It looks like they're hanging on for dear life. I mean, we'll see how it unfolds, but just understand, guys, when the market is skyrocketing, that's not a reflection of how your average American is doing. That's more of a reflection of how corporations and the rich are doing. But when the market tanks, this is a double whammy. When the market tanks, it does hurt your average person. Because, of course, the first people to feel the pain of a recession and the first people to get their jobs cut and the first people to get their pay cut are regular folks. So it's doubly messed up because when the market's doing well, people don't benefit as much as they should. And we know the case with wages, for example, still tremendously low and been stagnant since the 1980s. But when things go south, of course, the first people that they say, hey, you got to take a cut here is regular folks. So you don't experience the upsides when the markets are up. And then when the market is down, you do experience the pain. It's a double whammy of terribleness. And this is what we should expect moving forward. You have to have a totally different philosophy in there that would actually be on the side of the people. You got to understand, guys, FDR is the model here. When he was dealing with the Great Depression, one of the things he did was the New Deal. And the idea was, I'm going to redistribute wealth. I'm going to tax the rich. I'm going to give regular people all these jobs. I'm going to, build this country up and have an awesome infrastructure all around it. So that's what we need when the next crash happens. We need somebody who's going, hell yeah, I'm going to redistribute. Hell yeah, this income and wealth inequality is terrible. Hell yeah, you're not going to get away with it, Wall Street. And you're not going to go right back to the old tricks that you were doing originally, like what happened under Obama when he gave them a bailout with no strings attached. It started with Bush. He gave them a bailout with no strings attached. Then Obama did the same thing. And we just kicked the can further down the road. We need a philosophy in there that's going to say, no. We are going to tax you. We are going to take that money. We are going to do a Green New Deal. We are going to create millions of awesome jobs. We are going to give people unionization. We are going to do a living wage. We are going to have a massive infrastructure project. That's the Green New Deal. It's part of the Green New Deal with green and renewable technology. So you need that philosophy in there. Because if you don't have it in there, Trump and his merry band of idiots are just going to exacerbate the downturn here by doing everything the exact opposite of what they should do. That's why one of the first thing that came to them was, I got it. Cut corporate tax rates more. Oh my God. Oh my God. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just a bunch of thugs and thieves who are in power. And the first thing that pops in their mind when the economy is teetering on the brink is, let's use this as, another reason to continue to rob average Americans blind and give the rich and corporations even more.